Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today, we're going to talk about Blade Show West 2025. Yes, a full month after the show, you're getting my video thoughts on the show that I did, in fact, attend. Because relevancy is not what we do here on Gideon Stuff. I'm actually sitting in the rubble of a rather incredible knife unboxing that you guys will be seeing this Wednesday. Stay tuned for that. I have a knife in my pocket right now from that unboxing that I am not going to pull out on camera right now because I do want to save it. It's going to be a surprise. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, where do I even begin with this video? I guess we should begin by telling the story of Blade Show West this year. I did not record very much content. Last year when I went to Blade Show, I recorded a lot. We made a video about Blade Show that was like, an hour and a half long, which was awesome. I talked to a lot of the different companies there, got a lot of thoughts about different knives that are being shown. This year, I did not record that much. And what I did record, I recorded in short format. Why? Well, because by the time I got to the show, I wasn't really feeling it. For a multitude of reasons. Reason number one, I was dead tired. So I went to Blade Show on Saturday, the last day of Blade Show. That was another reason why I maybe didn't get as much stuff recorded, because the show was kind of wrapping up when I got there. It was day two. I got there in the morning on day two, but there were some things that were that I didn't get to see. Stuff that was already gone. And we'll get to that here in a second. But that Friday, Janelle and I left here when I got off work, and we drove from southern New Mexico to southern Utah. And I just pushed. I was like, I'm just going to drive until I can't drive anymore. And that point happened between Monticello and Moab. And so I pulled us over and decided we're going to get some sleep. And this was at 3 in the morning. And it was raining hard. From basically Gallup, New Mexico, all the way up into southern Utah, it was raining. Non-stop, violent winds, just torrential downpour. Well, I pull us over on the side of the road and I sleep for a couple of hours, just a few hours. In the morning, when we wake up, we have discovered that the little pull-off that I had chosen to park us for the night had turned into a small lake in the following hours. And that now Janelle's car was stuck in the mud. And so she hopped in the driver's seat and I got my ass outside pushing the car. She's got an Elantra, cool car, but not something that you want to go mudding in. I'm sure you guys can understand that. And got the car out of the mud, long story short. And at the end of the process, I was covered in mud. I was sore because actually one of the things I had to do was lift the car. The passenger side front tire had dug itself really, really deep. We got to a point where the other tires were free, but this tire had sunk into a softer spot. The other tires were on nice, solid ground mostly, but this tire was very, very stuck. And so I lifted the car and pushed while she threw it in reverse. And we got out, but I got covered in mud and I was absolutely physically beat. So we drive into Moab and we stop at a Maverick and I walk inside and I'm getting all these looks. People are like, what happened to that guy? I am covered in mud. And so I go and I clean up in the bathroom as best I can. I put a new shirt on. I did have another pair of pants that I was going to wear, but it was like some of my mountain climbing pants. So it's more like, I was trying to dress somewhat nice for Blade Show. And so I like put on my nice jeans and of course gotten them all muddy. And so, I go into the Maverick bathroom and I try to clean up a little bit. And then we hit the road into Salt Lake City. And once we got to the show was great. But I was exhausted. I was just completely dead inside. And so we walked around a little bit and I told Janelle, I said, okay, let's walk around, let's look at some stuff. And I'm going to be very judicial about the things that I film and record. And as we're walking around, I'm looking around, I was kind of realizing that there wasn't a ton I was excited about. I wasn't seeing a whole lot that was really, really getting me going. That's not to say there wasn't cool stuff there. There absolutely was, and we'll talk about some of that stuff. But I decided that instead of making a huge long-form video like I did last year, I was just going to make a series of shorts, and that would be my Blade Show coverage. And I was thinking to myself, this is going to be good. Like, I can make like a bunch of shorts, and people watch shorts like crazy. This will be great content for the channel. And in hindsight, that was the wrong decision. 100%. What I should have done is filmed everything long form, and then I could have edited it into shorts if I wanted to. The other thing too is I did not film even as much as I was intending because I was so doggone tired. I just forgot to film a lot of things. But there are some things that did stand out to me from the show that I absolutely want to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is TRM. So I've got a really good relationship with TRM. They're good friends of the channel, and so I always like to go to their booth and check out what they've got going on. This is my most carried folding knife of 2025. This is a TRM Bulldog, and they have a Bulldog 2 now, which was featured on the Blade Show magazine. I did not get to handle one at the booth because they were all sold out, unfortunately. But it looks really cool. Basically, they've made the deployment hole bigger, which if you guys remember my review of this, that was my biggest problem with it. Okay. Man, I had a Blade Show magazine, but a lot of my Blade Show stuff is still in Janelle's car, I think. A lot of the cards and brochures and things that I got are in her glove box. Anyways, so I'm talking to TRM, great people. I love TRM. I think I think their knives blend functionality and beauty seamlessly. I mean, this right here is a supremely usable knife. Great blade shape, amazing ergos, a pocket clip that works the way a pocket clip should work, a good solid action. I do have a secondary thumb stud on here, which I actually think I'm going to take off. I don't really like this thing. I don't think it makes deploying the knife that much easier. Maybe I just need to fiddle around with it a little bit, but great knife, but it's also a beautiful knife. The milling on here, which you guys can't really see, but check out my video, is phenomenal. They do absolutely amazing milling. And at the show, they showed me an auto that they have coming out, and I was absolutely blown away. It reminds me a lot of a Bulldog mixed with a Neutron, and the action was right where you want it to be. I'm not a huge auto guy. I'm not a big fan of autos. I don't really carry or use autos that much. I just don't care for them. But this one, it felt really snappy, felt really, really nice. The ergos were fantastic. The blade was actually custom ground by Andrew Dimko, which is pretty sweet. I did not get to the Dimko booth at Blade Show. I'm not sure if there was one. I didn't see one. There probably was, but I didn't get there. Amazing blade. Again, the knife reminds me of like a Bulldog mixed with a Neutron. Amazing ergos. That knife feels like it's just made to be used. And of course it was beautiful. The pocket clip on that knife was like mind-blowing. I don't know if I got any footage of it, but absolutely mind-blowing. Love the pocket clip. The milling on the scales was just so finely done. The inlay work was really, really good. And they had a sapphire mounted in the button. I'm not sure if all the versions are going to be that fancy, but just an amazing knife. They were super excited to show it off. and I'm really glad they did. It was phenomenal. I really enjoyed messing with that knife. Now, the other thing that I talked about them with was fixed blades. And I forget the names of the people that I talked to. I'm horrible with names, by the way. I'm terrible with names. But we talked about fixed blades. And we were talking about their big... Oh, my goodness. I forgot the name of that fixed blade, too. I'm obviously not prepared for this video. Uno momento, por favor. Alrighty, so now we've got the handy-dandy laptop. So I can look at the footage that I recorded at the show, just to kind of remind me what there is to see, and also look up knives and stuff whose names I don't remember. So, by the way, the Bulldog 2 is actually called the Bulldog Rev B, which is kind of an interesting name. But let's go ahead and talk about the fixed blades, because come on. Okay, so the first knife I talked to them about was the Redline, and this is their like large fixed blade. They're kind of full size fixed blade. I think it's got like a 4.5-inch blade. Very cool. While I was talking to them, I was trying to say something. I could not remember it. Again, I was like just completely dead and just brain fog. And I guess I'm not much better today. I guess I just live in a continual funk. Yeah, anyways. And what I was trying to say is that I really liked the way their knife felt. It reminded me of like a Bradford fixed blade, like a Bradford Guardian, except a little more like blocky, but kind of in a good way. So I was talking to them about the Redline. You know, Janelle and I were talking about how, you know, we do a lot of backpacking and mountain climbing and hiking and things like that. And, you know, I'm always looking for fixed blades like this that kind of fit into those kind of roles. And they were telling me that this knife does not perform very well for them. They do not sell a lot of these. And I don't know why. Well, I think obviously their folders are so much more popular. They probably overshadow this, but it is such an amazing fixed blade. I don't think it's like the best fixed blade in the world. There are definitely some things that I have issues with on it. I'm not going to go into those right here because that stuff is for like a full review. If I ever decide to review this knife, I'll go into that. There's definitely refinements that could be made to this design, but it's a really good design. And I really hope that they continue to work on it and improve it and try to push it forward, because I think fixed blades are becoming a lot more popular nowadays, especially EDC fixed blades, which brings us to the Tagalong, I think it was called. Yeah, the Tagalong. The gentleman that was there at the TRM booth was showing me the Tagalong. He was really impressed with this, and I am too. These start at like $150. Very small fixed blade that feels so good in hand. Just absolutely phenomenal feel in hand. I'm super excited about this. They're very excited about this. Leather sheath that you can put an ulti clip on. Just an absolutely excellent pocket knife. This is the definition of a pocket carry fixed blade. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I really hope that they continue to go forward with their fixed blade line. Okay, that's enough about TRM. I also want to talk a little bit about let's move this closer. Oh my goodness, what is it called? Also, you guys got a little peek of the surprise knife I didn't want to reveal yet. Oh my gosh. So it is 5:30 in the evening. I got back from work at like 4 today. So I am like exhausted and a little bit dumb right now. What is the name of this brand? I was about to call them Brokeback Mountain. That's not their name. Crap. North Mountain Blades is what I meant to say. So I went and I talked to people there at North Mountain Blades. Really cool people. Like they're super friendly. Most people are at Blade Show, right? We're gonna tell a story here in a second where I like had to put my foot in my mouth on Boca Grande, and almost got it. Like I did get some weird looks, but we'll tell that story here in a second. It is kind of related to North Mountain, but really cool people over there. I looked at like I was honestly surprised at all the knives that they had. I've only seen a couple of knives from them before, like the Chop and a couple of others. They've got a ton of knives, and they all felt really, really well made. They're using SLD Magic, a Sanmai style steel. They're using some of the most beautiful carbon fiber I've ever seen. The lady that was there at the booth was showing me that some of their 80s fat carbon is fluorescent. She had a little black light, and I did not know that 80s fat carbon was fluorescent. And I was asking her, I was like, what is making it fluorescent? Is it something that's unique to the 80s fat carbon? Are there other, like fat carbon styles that are fluorescent? And she didn't really know, so if any of you know, please let me know in the comments down below. There was also a knife that they had that I couldn't understand why it was 600 ducks. Oh my gosh, guys, why do I even try to record videos? I don't even know. See, a real YouTuber would like cut that out, like edit that out, and it'd be like, just a nice continuous video with no flubs. But this is the Gideon Stuff channel. So anyways, they had this knife. I'm looking at it right here. It's one of their chops. It's a Chop 4, which is a front flipper. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is a really, really cool knife. It's got the SLD Magic Sanmai blade. And I looked at the price. And I'm like, $600? What? And it's like the same as all the other knives. But it has quartz carbon fiber. Red quartz and carbon fiber. And that, for the handle material, that instantly caught my attention. Geologist, quartz, right? And I was asking the people there, I'm like, what is this? Like, tell me about this. And they didn't really have many answers for me. I guess I could do some more deep dive. In fact, you know what? Let's look it up right now. Why not? Because that was something that stood out to me at the show. Red quartz carbon fiber. Okay, let's see what quartz carbon fiber is. Let's take the red out, because I'm assuming red is like a dye. Quartz carbon fiber can refer to two different things: a composite material where quartz fibers are combined with carbon fibers, or a marketing term for a product that is made with either carbon fiber, or quartz, but not a mix of both. A marketing term for a product that is made with either carbon fiber or quartz, but not a mix of both. The term can also refer to the development of composite materials that use both materials, such as in watches and aerospace components, to enhance properties like strength, thermal resistance, and durability. I'm guessing that's what it is. Okay, this is the AI overview on Google. I hate these things. Because, look, let's break this down. Let's talk a little bit about why AI is garbage and trash. Quartz carbon fiber can refer to two different things: a composite material where quartz fibers are combined with carbon fibers, or a marketing term for a product that is made with either carbon fiber or quartz, but not a mix of both. There's our two terms. The term can also refer to the development of composite materials that use both materials, such as in watches and aerospace, blah, 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 blah. So that's three things. Quartz carbon fiber can refer to three things. What is high temp quartz? Okay, we're getting way too distracted. Let's dive down the quartz carbon fiber rabbit hole some other time. Okay, so I've been interested in North Mountain blades, so I was looking at their table, and one of the knives that they have that I'm kind of interested in is I can't remember what it's called, like the big dog or something. It's got a kickstop flipper. Guys, I'm not functioning today. Maybe I should just like turn the camera off and go do something else with my life right now, but we're not going to do that. You guys are going to suffer through this. Oh, the North Mountain jellyfish. Really, really cool freaking knife. I really like that one. I'll put up some pictures of some of the stuff that I'm talking about. It's a sweet knife. Oh my gosh. I just want to find the fucking... Where is it? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, a lot of cool stuff going on at North Mountain Blades. The knife I'm thinking about is this one that's on the screen right here. Cool knife. I was considering like picking one up. I went and handled it at the show, and it is a cool knife, but I think I'm going to pass on it for now. One of the knives that I did handle from them that I really, really liked was the BB&M. It's a very premium feeling knife. It's got a great look to it. And it's designed by Dwayne Dwyer, which is really, really cool. I love seeing these kind of collaborations. Another thing that I love about this knife is that it's on washers instead of bearings, so it has just a really, really nice, solid feel. I love washer action, so this was a knife that I was really, really excited about. Now, let me tell the story where I need to put my foot in my mouth. So, as I was talking to the people at North Mountain Blades, and I was handling the BB&M, the lady was telling me, she's like, yeah, you know, this is a collaboration with Dwayne Dwyer. You know, we're really excited to be working with him. You know, he's set up just behind us over here. You know, definitely go by, you know, and visit his table and stuff. I was like, yeah, I absolutely will. So, we go walking behind the North Mountain Blades table, and I'm walking past this other booth, and this lady says, hi, how are you guys doing? And of course, if someone says that, I'm like, ooh, you're a nice person. I'm going to stop and look at what you've got. So I stop and I look down and I see knives that look like Dwayne Dwyer knives. Again, I'm like exhausted and tired. And they're in this big display case. And I'm like, oh, wow, look at this. And so she's showing me these knives. She's pulling them out of the case. They're not for sale. They're just for, you know, people to handle and enjoy. And I'm like, man, these are really, really dope. These are awesome. I said, you know, I love this style of knife. This reminds me of like, you know, kind of the old days of the knife world, the American-made knives. Even though I wasn't really around for those days, like I have a nostalgia for them. I don't know why. And I was like, you know, this is the kind of knife that I just want to own and use and abuse. And I said, I'm so glad that you guys are partnering with North Mountain Blades now. Except I didn't say that. I said, I'm so glad that you guys are partnering with other OEMs to bring these to a wider market. I was at the Strider booth. And the guy sitting there, I don't know if that was Mick Strider sitting there. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know who this guy was. But he turns to me and he's like, what'd you say? And I was like, oh, it's just really cool that, you know, you guys are collaborating with overseas OEMs, so, you know, kind of hit a different market. He's like, who? And I'm like, those guys over there? Which ones? I'm like, the mountain, the North Mountain Blades. So he's like, that's not us. I'm like, oh, and it's then that I see the big banner saying Strider Knives. I'm like, ah, yes, that's your former partner, Dwayne Dwyer, not Strider. So that was my big oopsie at Blade Show. So then I did go and see the Dwayne Dwyer booth, and it was awesome over there. Okay, moving on. This is still gonna be a long video, but I'm gonna try and keep it not as long. I think next I want to talk about Cold Steel. So as always, I love going to the Cold Steel booth. They've always got fun stuff there, and the thing about Cold Steel is it's more like the GSM booth because they've got Cold Steel, SOG, and they've got Camillus. You guys know that I love Camillus. By the way, Cold Steel or GSM, if you guys need like a spokesperson for Camillus, I'm offering you my assistance. I will come and I will help you guys with the Camillus brand because I want the Camillus brand to be as badass as it has the potential to be. But anyways, I stopped by there, was looking at a bunch of the SOGs, really impressed with a bunch of the SOGs, not the SOGs. My bad. Really, really cool. Like the Kiku flipper was awesome. What's their big freaking overbuilt massive crossbar lock flipper knife? Felt amazing. That thing's awesome. I do not know how they get such a snappy action out of their crossbar lock flippers. I don't think anyone is doing crossbar lock flippers as well as SOG or SOG or whatever. But and there were some other cool things I saw at the Cold Steel booth. Number one was the Swift 3. I think this is a really, really cool knife. The Swift 3 is an assisted knife, and I think it looks really, really good. It's got Cold Steel's new Atlas lock, and the assist is very strong. I don't mind assisted knives. We've talked about this before on the channel. I don't mind assisted knives. They're not necessarily my go-to, but I definitely think they have a place. And so the Atlas, or the Swift 3 here, I don't really care that it's assisted. It's got M4 blades, it's got G10 scales. It's big, but not like huge. To me, it honestly feels like a little bit of a spiritual successor to the Recon series. And we'll be talking about the Recon series here in a second, but absolutely phenomenal knife. Felt great in the hand. Amazing action. That assist is not bad. Once you pull back on the Atlas lock, the blade drops to about halfway and you can close it, so it is still easy to use with one hand. Again, I think it's a good-looking knife. I'm really excited about the M4. I definitely want to get one. You can de-assist them, of course, and that might be something that if I get one, I end up doing. I don't know. We'll see. I've heard that there are some issues with the pocket clip screws stripping out. And actually, Luke from Calculated Survival, who was there at the booth, was talking to me about that, and he said that that's an issue that Cold Steel is aware of and that they are fixing it on future runs, which is really, really awesome. And that kind of brings me to a nice segue into something else I want to talk about. And that's actually just a conversation I had with Luke from Calculated Survival. Awesome dude. Of course, like, he's really, really knowledgeable with a lot of survival stuff. He is a knife maker himself, so he's got that under his belt, but he's also a content creator. And so he has... I'm glad that Cold Steel has him working for them now, because he can serve as a really, really good bridge between us consumer knife snobs and the higher ups at Cold Steel / GSM. And while I was talking to Luke, I was getting really, really excited about the upcoming years for Cold Steel, because, you know, he didn't say a whole lot, but he was just telling me about some things that they've got going behind the scenes, some stuff that he's like trying to push them to do. And basically he told me that, you know, or the impression that I was getting was, because Luke has this connection to the people, I don't know, he's able to take a lot of complaints and criticisms directly to Cold Steel's team, and they're able to kind of directly work to fix things or make things that people want. That makes me really, really excited. I am so curious to see what Cold Steel comes up with in the next few years. I think we're in for some great stuff. Luke definitely knows what people want. The Recon 1 XL, amazing knife. I absolutely love that knife. Got to handle that one there. Super smooth. I was shocked at how smooth it was. Definitely want to get one. CTS XHP. I'm glad to see Cold Steel bring that back. That's really, really cool. And the knife itself reminds me a little bit of a more EDC-able Espada XL, which is really, really awesome. I mean, I guess there's like the medium-sized Espada or even the small Espada. I don't think they make the small anymore. But definitely a really, really cool knife. Very, very big, but manageable for sure. And then there's some other things there that was really neat. Like the Full Metal Atlas, the FM1. Very cool knife. Very, very cool knife. Luke tried to get me to buy one for Janelle. Awesome, awesome knife. I do want to get one of these days. Not Cold Steel's typical motif, right? It's a very slim, almost gentlemanly folding knife. And I say that just because it kind of... the metal scales and the texture that they have on there makes it feel a little more CEO-y, I guess. Even though the knife itself I would not say is a gents knife or a CEO style knife. It's definitely just a solid EDC knife. It's what I'd call like an EDC plus. It's got that Atlas lock, so it's super, super strong, but it's also a little bit fidgety. Got the lefty friendly capabilities, of course. It's very lightweight, very slim. If you want the power and reliability and durability of a cold steel, but you don't want the weight, the thickness, etc., this is a great knife, I think, and I really, really want to get my hands on one. Frenzy 3 was there. That's a smaller Frenzy. Cool knife. I'm not a huge fan of Wharncliffe's, so it didn't really get me going that much. They had some more of the titanium scaled 8010s, which do make me want to make bad financial decisions. But I'm really impressed with where Cold Steel's going. I think they've got a good team behind them right now. I know a lot of people were really worried when GSM bought them that things were going to be going downhill, but I think they're trying really, really hard, and I think they're making some good choices. I also saw Lynn Thompson at the show, which was pretty awesome. He's just a fucking legend, right? Like, what can you say? Lynn Thompson is amazing. Also, I met David C. Anderson. I got to shake the slightly larger than average hands of David C. Anderson, which was pretty cool. Again, I'll be honest, this Blade Show had a lot more like celebrities there than the last time I went to Blade Show West, and it kind of would have been fun to be filming some of this stuff, but again, I was tired, and I'll be completely honest with you guys too. I have a hard time like walking up to someone and being like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, I've got a camera, let me stick it in your face and let's talk about something. Even though like a lot of these other content creators are probably kind of expecting that and they're kind of immune to it. That's just not me. I don't know. I have a hard time doing that. I would have loved to, talk to like Ben Peterson, who was there. There's some people there that I would have loved to talk to, but especially in the case of someone like David C. Anderson, even though I absolutely love to make a video picking his brain about a lot of things because I think he's super knowledgeable, and I would absolutely love to have a conversation with him. That's not really the format to do it, right? And also he's busy doing stuff for Knife Center and everything like that. And so, and also I'm small beans, right? I'm an itty bitty channel. So like if I went up to Melissa Backwoods, who was there, and I'm like, hey, you want to make a short with me for my channel? I want to use you for views. It just seemed weird, right? It just seemed weird. So I did talk to a couple people, but I didn't record it. And I did kind of the same thing at Blade Show West last year, where I talked to a lot of really awesome makers like Brian Nadeau and Serge Panchenko and a bunch of others. I'm not going to pull out all the names. And I talked to them, and I had really, really great conversations. And I asked them a lot of questions about their design philosophy and stuff. But I didn't record it because, I don't know. I'm not that YouTube brained yet, I guess. I'm getting there, though. Don't worry, I'm getting there. Next Blade Show, I'll be absolutely unbearable, I promise. But yeah, there were a lot of cool people at the show, I guess is the bottom line for that. Oh, I saw, what's his name? Outdoor Tester guy. I watch his channel a lot, but I do not remember what his channel name is. Anyways, moving on. Civivi. I want to mention Civivi real quick. There wasn't a whole lot of the Civivi booth that I really liked. But then, as I was leaving, I saw they were like pulling out a bunch of like the prototypes, and they had some massive folding knives that are like super thin and like very manageable that I am actually kind of excited about. I think that's funny. I'm not sure how practical they are, but we don't need everything to be practical. I thought they were really, really goofy. I want to take a look at them. They also had a folding knife design by Torbay. I think Torbay is the guy that made like the big old. There's a fixed blade we made a while ago that kind of matches the design of this knife. I've got a fixed blade design by Torbay. The oh my gosh, what is the name of that Civivi? Guys, I'm struggling. I'm not doing good. Anyways, I've got a Torbay knife that I'm still working on. I've had that knife for over a year, well over a year, like 2 years. I haven't reviewed it yet. I need to fix that. I need to give it a review. I just don't know how. But the folding knife was really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that coming out. That's actually, I love knives that look different, that look interesting, and that's something that I think is very cool. A lot of the more interesting Civivis, though, I did not get to see because they were gone by the time I got over to the Civivi booth. But Civivi's coming out with a hobo tool, which I think is really awesome. I've got some viewers who are obsessed with EDCing spoons, so I'm sure they're excited about that as well. Let's see here. They've got a new lock coming out that I think is kind of neat. It reminds me a little bit of like the Super Lock, but a little bit different. I'm seeing if I can pull it up right now. I don't know if I'll be able. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Ooh, and they're coming out with new versions of the Vision FG. Ooh, CPM S35VN. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. The Zygon flipper and thumb stud. I don't know if that's a flipper, but what is the lock that they have on this? Locking mechanism pending is what they have on their website. I really want to take a look at this knife. I saw this on Instagram. This looks like a really interesting knife. This is a new lock. I don't think it's, again, like it seems to me just from the videos I've seen that's kind of in the same vein as like the Super Lock, but really, really curious about that knife. I did handle a Buster FG. This is a knife that I get, it's been very requested to review on the channel. And I've been like, yeah, you know what? I will get around to picking one up eventually. Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm actually not. Probably. I didn't like it. I did not like the Buster FG from what I held. Now, the little video clip that I'm playing, I might loop it. I was recording video of me playing with the knife, and then I got a phone call and the video like cut out, and I, again, in my brain fog, forgot to record a new video, which was kind of a shame. But I did not like that knife. I did not like it, Sam. I am. It's too big. And that's something I never thought I'd say. You guys know that I typically love big knives. I don't carry big knives as much as I used to now that I'm not out in the woods on the ranch and stuff. But I still do enjoy a big knife. And a big knife that's done well is very, very appealing to me. This did not feel like a big knife that was done well. The size did not make sense to me. I think it would have made much more sense to be a much smaller knife, probably close to the size of the one that we made. It felt awkward and clunky to me. I did not like the ergonomics. I didn't really like it. And so if I do get one, it'll be a long ways down the road. Like, I am not in a hurry to get one of these. Really right now, the only thing that would make me want to review this knife is just because it's kind of popular, but the popularity is dying out already. Like the knife roll's gotten so in and out that, I guess I kind of missed my shot with this one, and I'm not upset about that at all. Like, I was really excited about this knife when it was released. I love the Vision FG, but this knife just does not do it for me. I'm sorry. It does not do it for me. Real quick, I want to talk about Jackwolf knives. I held their Scuffle, their new like flipper frame lock. Beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. One of my favorite frame locks I've handled in recent memory. I absolutely love this knife. I love the Lanny's clip blade. I love the Fuller. The one that they had there at the show with the orange carbon fiber and the orange pivot collar really spoke to me. I'd love to see some other color variations. I love pivot collars and bolster locks. To me, a pivot collar and a bolster lock together is like the sexiest thing that you can do to a frame lock. I love pivot collars. You guys have heard me say this before. Adding a pivot collar to like a budget knife is like the easiest way to make it feel more premium instantly. I love pivot collars. And if I'm going to have a frame lock, I like to be a bolster lock. I like to have scale material on both sides. I like to have it matching. Really, really cool. Jackwolf knives, I definitely need to review some more. Well, I need to review some Jackwolf knives in general because every time, like at last Blade Show, I went and talked to them. Super nice people. You can really tell that they're, like very passionate about making good tools and interacting with the community, and I like that a lot. So, Jack Wolf Knives, definitely need to take a look at. Okay, let's talk about CGRB real quick, and we'll end this video talking about. There's a bunch I could talk about, but we've already been doing this for too long. So CGRB, one thing I wanted to get to the CGRB booth because I had two main goals. One goal in particular, but let's go ahead and stick with. But we'll go to goal number 2, which was a secondary goal. I wanted to see the Recoil Lock V2. For a long time, I was campaigning on my channel like, hey, CGRB, what the heck happened to the Recoil Lock? You guys had something cool going on, and it just kind of disappeared. What's up with that? And I like what they've done with the Recoil Lock V2. It's basically a crossbar lock with a fin on the spine. Nothing like revolutionary, but it is neat. It is neat. And I do want to get my hands on some of their knives. They have this knife that's probably going to be on screen now. It's got like a cleaver blade. It's like a sheep's foot trying to be a cleaver. It's like a very thin blade with like the end chopped off. Cool looking knife. I have no idea what the name is. I'll write it on the screen. Maybe I'll look it up right here. But I also handle the CGRB Bolt, which is a very fun knife. I think that was the first knife that they launched with the Recoil Lock V2. Artisan is going to be doing some knives with the Recoil Lock V2 that I'm really, really excited about. It's not like it's all that revolutionary, but it's fun. It is fun, and I can't deny that. And so I'm pretty excited about it. Let's see here. Let's go to new knives. See if they have it out here. I'm probably not going to find the name, but that's okay. But yeah, CGRB, I'm a huge fan of what they do, and I like a lot of their stuff. Looked at some of the Artisan stuff too, which is really cool. They did not have any Tundras. I really wanted to take a look at the Tundra. That's their new like massive folding knife. They were all out of those. I will be getting one of those eventually because I love when CGRB does like big stupid knives, and I love all their knives that are geology themed, of course, for obvious reasons. We'll talk about geology theme here in a second. I want to talk about their CEO style knife, which I cannot remember the name of this. This right here, I do not like this style of knife. I am not a big fan of this genre of knives. But this knife here, I was really impressed with because I felt like finally someone had taken the CEO style knife genre and perfected it. This knife was excellent. So light, like maybe the most lightweight knife I've ever felt. Of course, it's so slim, but you get a lot of blade on there, a lot of edge. I felt like the Wharncliffe blade worked really well with it. The way they designed the pocket clip, super smart. You can mount it in a couple different ways. It looks like a pin in and out of the pocket. Liner lock, front flipper, and thumb studs. So sleek, so elegant. This is what CEO style knives should be, and I was really, really impressed with it. There at the booth, I talked to Russell, who's awesome. I love the CGRB guys. They've got Russell. They've got I can't remember the other guy's name. The little Hobbit. I'm not saying that as like an insult. I'm a small man too. But that's his online name. And then also talked to designer Dusty Rhodes at the show, and really cool dude. Really weird. I love weird creatives. So that's a lot of fun. Okay. But the main thing I wanted to see CGRB for was I want to ask them, are you guys doing anything with the Feldspar? Because I have felt like the Feldspar, which if you guys know me, you know that the Feldspar is like one of my favorite folding knife designs of all time. And I feel like CGRB is neglecting it. And it should not be neglected. They have such a great design on their hands. Like, this is an excellent knife. They should be innovating it. And they haven't really done anything with the Feldspar since they did they released, when they started doing AR RPM 9, they released another round of Feldspars with AR RPM 9 instead of D2, but they gave them flat scales, which was fine. I've got one of those. I love it. The ergos are still great. It has a different feel, but it's not a bad feel. But the contour scales of the original Feldspar are something that I thought was integral to that design. I really, really loved the original contour scales, and I just want to see CGRB do more with it. You know, they've done some frame locks and stuff and special editions. They did some button lock Feldspars. So I went and I asked, I said, are you guys doing anything new with the Feldspar? Russell's like, oh yeah, we are actually. Let me show you this. and he brought out a bunch of knives. Now, they have made top liner lock versions of the Feldspar. I hate that name, that lock name, but we're going to run with it. And they've also made top frame lock versions. So top frame lock versions are these ones with the Timascus or with the Timascus overlays. Very, very cool. You do have to have an overlay on both sides, and because otherwise you get like a little bit of a pinch from that frame lock. And so it's still basically the same thing as a top liner lock. It's like a frame lock on the top that's actually with a button. It's just thicker. So cool. I guess I'll be honest, like the top frame lock thing, it's interesting, but I don't know if it's like all that interesting. Now, they did have a titanium scaled one that was a little more plain. Obviously, titanium is going to be expensive. That's the top liner lock that I was super excited about because it has a contoured scales. It had excellent texturing on the titanium. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful knife. I want one very, very badly. And then they also had a flat scaled one in brass. Super heavy, but if that's the form that the budget versions are going to take, not with the brass, probably with G10, micarta, etc. I'm really excited for those knives. I think they are going to be hits. I hope they do contour scales on some of the budget ones because, yes, the ergonomic profile and lines of the Feldspar are excellent with the flat scales. Still an above average ergonomic experience, but the contouring just puts it at that next level. So I really hope they do that. And the only knife I bought at Blade Show did come from the CGRB booth. I bought a Fugly. I looked at this last year, but this year I wanted to buy one because I don't know. I just think it's a ridiculous knife, and it's really, really fun. And I need to clean it because this one has been used and abused a lot. I have a first impressions video of this knife already out, so I'm not going to go into that too much here. But this is a really, really cool knife. And after Blade Show, I carried this knife with me all over Idaho and Wyoming and Colorado on my way back home. So really, really cool knife. I'm very impressed with it. Cannot wait to give you guys the full review. I've got another CGRB, the Droma, that I've been carrying a lot that I also love that there's a full review coming on as well. Okay, now the last thing I want to talk about is Leatherman. Because this was the other table that I knew I didn't want to miss at Blade Show. I needed to go and look at Leatherman's new knives. Now, I did look at their new multi-tool, and I was really impressed with it. You know, it's got like the G10 scales and stuff. I was really impressed with it. I need to get a new Leatherman. I've had the same Leatherman since I was like 10 years old. You know, one of the old classic ones that my dad gave me when I was a kid. But this felt really, really good. I do need to get a new Leatherman tool. I keep meaning to. But we're not going to talk about the multi-tool that much right now. I want to talk about the knives. The Blazer and the Glider are the folding knives. Let's start with those. These are the ones that are kind of the most controversial. Yes, the compression lock feels a little bit weird. But I got to talk to the guy that actually designed these knives there at the Leatherman booth and kind of pick his brain. And he was talking about how he wanted the knife to feel a little bit unique. He wanted it to feel like a tool, not a fidget toy. And I do respect that. And he was telling me about, you know, how the lock works under the hood, how it's really, really strong, and how, in his opinion, it's stronger than some of these other compression lock style knives that are out there, which is awesome. As for the knives themselves, the Glider is okay. The Blazer, I absolutely loved. I love the pocket clips on these knives. I love the ergos. I love the action. Yeah, you know, on the close it was a little bit awkward, but that's something I can get used to. I want to take a Blazer and beat the absolute snot out of it. I want one of those knives so bad, and I really, really want to put it to work because I think it's a knife that could take some work. I think it's a knife that can stand up to a lot of abuse. It's the kind of knife that makes me really excited about it. It's my kind of pocket knife. Kind of a no frills, well made, use me for anything type of knife. Hollow ground magnet cut blade, which is really, really cool. Is it worth $300? I don't know. Probably not. And I will not be buying one for $300. Probably. So how are the fixed blades? The fixed blades were cool. I wasn't super impressed with the like survival style fixed blades. There's some cool things about them. They've got special notches in the spine for like throwing sparks off a rod, which is kind of cool. The handles are well thought out. But for me personally, especially at $300, I wasn't super excited about those. I was a little more excited about the like chef's knife. I think that would be a great backpacking fixed blade if you're, going to be using a knife for food prep around camp. I think that'd be a great knife. Be just a great knife to like have in your kitchen. It seems like I really loved how thin the blade was. I really loved there was a full flat grind, Magna Cut. The ergos on that one felt a lot more natural to me. The ergos on the fixed blades, on the other fixed blades, were good, but they felt like kind of generic in a way. The ergos on this knife felt like they were made for this knife specifically, which I'm a huge fan of. I thought it felt really, really good, and I'm very excited about it. Leatherman is aware of the drama they have stirred up. They are aware. I can tell you that. And I think they've got a good mindset about it. They're kind of taking it on the nose, right? They know what people are saying. And, I'll play a clip of what the lady at Leatherman said that I thought was a good way to look at it.
We're bound to have people have certain expectations. But the thing that I always think about when we cause that kind of chatter, when people are giving feedback, is how lucky are we that we have so many people that care so much about what we do.
Right.
That they are so invested in that.
Well, and I mean, Leatherman's one of those names that's known just, not just by us knife snobs and people like that. Everyone knows Leatherman. And so, there's a lot of people with eyes on this. It's really cool. I am blown away with this one right here. This is something that I'm really excited about. That is really, really neat. Very, very cool stuff.
They are pretty amazing.
These are awesome. Well, thank you for, again, all the info.
For sure.
These are great.
Now, the price on these knives. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They should have aimed a little lower. Like Leatherman's first knives should have been in like the 150 range instead of going straight to 300. That's wild. That puts them in competition with things like TRM. And I don't think they're ready to compete there yet. But I can't deny I liked the feel of the Blazer. I really, really did. That knife, I'm still thinking about it. That was one of my favorite knives that I held at the entire show. And that's the kind of knife that... There's some knives that just make me nostalgic for hard labor. There's knives that make me wish I was a cowboy again. There's knives that make... I close my eyes and I'm transported back to my family's ranch and I'm building fence and I'm cutting hay bales, and that knife gave me that feeling. I would love to see Leatherman try to release some more affordable knives, maybe even more affordable versions of these knives right here. I'd love to see them kind of bring their prices down. I know that they basically, kind of reworked a lot of the ways that their factory functions in order to make these knives, but that's going to cost something. But I would really like to see them maybe bring some of their knives down to like the $150 price point. And yes, they're made in the USA. They're very well built and things like that. But I think they were very ambitious aiming for this kind of price tag. But yeah, so there we go. There's my wrap up of Blade Show West 2025. Maybe not as in-depth as last year's coverage was, but let me know what you guys thought. I will probably be at Blade Show next year, too, so if you're going to be there as well, definitely swing by and say hi. We'll meet up and, shake hands and stuff like that. But, yeah. Big shout out to my channel members right here at the Cowboy level. I appreciate everything they do for the channel. If you want to become a member and support me directly, there's a button down below. As for the rest of you weirdos, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.